And here we go again. We are live. Can you hear me,
Hi
Alessandro?
everyone. Yeah. I can hear you. I
Cool.
can hear you. Can you
Perfect.
hear me?
Yep.
Okay.
Perfect. So yeah, I didn't know if we're gonna do it. This is the third week, and the third episode. So maybe we're lucky. Maybe we're just too good for this. But anyway, well, yeah. Hello everyone again for the third time of the Security Break podcast, where we just have a chat around some recent news about security. I'm Giorgio, and today with me there's Alessandro Sabatini. Hi, Alessandro. How are you?
Hi. I'm fine. I'm fine. Thanks. I told you before I'm a little bit tired because in the weekend is my just 3 days to do all the home
Yeah, all
stuff
the
and
stuff. Yeah.
yeah. And in the end of the day, I feel always tired. But I'm fine. I'm fine. Thanks. Thanks for the
Yeah.
question. Yeah.
No,
And
thank
you?
you. Thank you for joining me. Well, I'm actually also pretty tired, but because of another reason, I just went on a hiking today, and yeah, it was tough.
Yeah.
I need to train a little bit, but anyway, yeah. Do you want to have just a maybe quick introduction of
Quick
yourself?
introduction. Yeah. Let me introduce myself. So, my name is Alessandro Sabatini, and I'm working in cybersecurity since 2008. So wow, it's a long time. Yeah, and currently I'm working in Splunk, and so my skills, my specialization are based for the security monitoring and automation from SIEM technologies and SOAR technologies. And
Great.
that's all.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
more than enough, I will say. So great. And yeah, Alessandro today is gonna just have a chat with me on a few news that we collected from the last week, as we usually do. And I think we have very juicy stuff this week. So I really hope that we don't um, make people too bored, because there's a lot of things to say about what we have today. But yeah, we will just do our best, and let's see. So what do you think? Shall we start?
Yeah. Sure, we can
Perfect.
start for the first news.
Okay, so my screen is shared and everyone should be able to see it, and this is the first news of today. So I really wanted to take this for this episode, because this is a big topic related to security, right? Security, and of course, cybersecurity, and the healthcare industry. It's something very hot, like something very concerning, I will say. And in this case, basically, an hospital in the United States, in Illinois, I think.
Yeah, very
Um,
nice.
yeah, they specifically declared that, okay, we're closing the hospital, and one of the reason we're going to read more about it, but one of the reasons why we're closing the hospital is exactly the fact that we were hit by a ransomware attack. And yeah, that's basically all. Just with this title, we could talk about it for, I don't know, hours probably. Yeah, it's big.
Yeah, but it's really frequently here in Italy too. So currently I working uh, side by side with Italian healthcare because
Hmm.
in the past months they received a similar attack. Is always a ransomware attack
Hmm.
for the healthcare, not for the hospital, but here in Italy, the healthcare are managed from the ASL. the
yeah.
local,
So like
yeah,
the
yeah,
public administration related
yeah,
to yeah.
the PI, yeah, exactly, the public administration try to manage the healthcare, and so there there were exfiltration, a data exfiltration for
Hmm.
example for the Abruzzo, and this is really important because they stolen the sensible data from the people, but especially they found the data from the boss of the mafia,
Oh,
the
wow.
Messina Denaro. Yeah, yeah, all the clinic parcel.
Wow. Okay, that's whoa.
Yeah, and
That's a
and
big one.
now, yeah, it's a big one. And now all the Italian healthcare for the public administration, the hospital, try to buy a big compliance with
Mm.
the security topics like the SIM. Try
Hmm.
to put the data inside a security operation center,
Yeah.
managed security operation center, and but I think now is I don't want to say it's too late because
Mm.
but it's not too late, but it's late.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's of course, it's always too late, I will say, because the
Hmm. Yeah,
problem, and I don't think it's just in Italy, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Anywhere they just wait for like the the big bomb to explode, basically, right? When they're
exactly.
hit by an attack, or when another company in the same industry is attacked, and they face the consequences, then all of the other you know um, companies or organizations start doing something
Yeah.
again. Yeah, that's too late, but at least they start to do something, right?
Mhm.
Like, that's better than nothing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah. But now all the public administration, it's helped from the government because the
Hmm.
government give some uh,
Yeah,
PNR monies
yeah,
for try,
just some money. Yeah, right.
yeah, trying to invest try money for the cybersecurity for the public administration. And now, so a lot of that the public administration is helped from the government to be compliant with the security topics and security operation.
Yeah, and that's
This
I
is
think
good.
that's good.
Yeah, yeah, it's good. It's good.
Yeah, and especially for hospitals, of
Yeah,
course
yeah.
they need at least public hospitals, of course,
Mhm.
they will need a lot of help from the government. Again, not only in Italy. I just wanted to focus again on the what we have in the news, because uh, so we hear a lot, as you said before, about hospitals being attacked, right?
Yeah.
Recently, in any country. Also, the article lists a number of different hospitals. I'm not gonna
Mhm.
go through all of them, but the point is that the difference in this case is that not only the hospital was attacked, right, and of course they had some challenges regarding the attack, but the hospital closed, which is big. Okay, not all of the big companies being attacked by a ransomware
Yeah.
at the end need to close, but in this case it appears it is the case. And they publicly said, okay, we have a list of reasons why we're doing this. Of course, the pandemic, of course, I think it's, yeah, so the pandemic, the cyber attack that
Vertex.
they faced, and of course, other problems like shortage of staff and stuff like that. Now I have two things in my mind about this, right? The first one is, okay, this is big, and we should, we as a security industry, right? We can say, this stuff happens. So companies close hospitals, which is even worse, uh, close because of attacks. So you need investments, you need to work on security. And on the other hand, I feel like, is this some kind of excuse, right? it's the two faces of the thing. So are they saying, oh, we were attacked and we need to close, but maybe, as they say, they had a lot of other problems they needed to close anyway, and just because it's fancy today to say, oh, there are the bad people, the bad guys,
Hmm. Yeah,
which
yeah.
made us close. I don't know what you think about it, but I feel both of things.
Hmm. Yeah, another things to consider is so we are in the United States, and
Hmm.
we have some hospitals is like big company, big tech company with a big investment for cybersecurity, for research, and for other topics. Now I don't know this hospital in Illinois, but I think it's a minor hospital,
Yeah,
and maybe stories the healthcare in the United States. It's private, and every hospital have to think like a company. So
yeah,
try to invest money to save people, buy medical stuff, don't have funds for the cybersecurity, for the IT, and maybe this is the results in that case. So I think
yeah. No,
is another
that's
thing
very true.
to consider for that in that case.
Yeah, no, you are definitely right. I
Mhm,
think I don't know this hospital as well, but I think it's written somewhere that it's still a
mhm.
little hospital from a little town,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
And of course, bigger companies can, you
Yeah,
know,
exactly. So, for example, so I don't want to create a spot for my company, but so for example, the Presbyterian Hospital in New York is our client, and we
mm,
know for sure the Presbyterian invest a lot of money for the also for the cybersecurity, but not only for the cybersecurity, for the research and
mhm.
for the other healthcare topics,
Yeah,
because
that's
it's
true.
one of the important hospital in the United States. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Depends on how much money you have, like
yeah,
to invest,
exactly.
and how much skilled people you have
Yeah.
to, uh, you know,
Mhm. But
uh,
so I have
just
another
face those
question.
challenges.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I have another question about this topic because it's more frequently attack from the attacks from the hackers to the hospital in that case. So do you know why for that?
So that is unfortunate, but I think also that is true. And the
Mhm,
point is that I've said this also in the previous episodes, especially if we talk about ransomware gangs,
mhm,
right? Specifically, so those specific threat groups which usually most than often run ransomwares to their targets. The point is that is a business, right? It's illegal, but still it's a business. They are doing that to make money out of it, right? And the in order to make money, the point is that they need to put pressure in their targets, because it's not about when they encrypt. Ransomware is about encrypting files and stopping the company to work, because all of the files are encrypted, they do not have access to their data, and so on and so forth, right? So some companies, I think they can wait for a certain period of time to see if they can fix the problem in different ways. Maybe they have a backup, maybe they can hire someone to see if they can actually restore the data, and something like that. And in that period of time they will not pay the ransom, right? But hospitals cannot do that, because if an hospital, that's the point that I wanted to reach with this article. Um, all of the healthcare machines that an hospital is using, machines that are
Yeah.
using to monitor the patients and so on and so on
Hmm.
and so forth. They are basically nowadays computers connected to the internet most of the time. And when a ransomware hit an hospital, is basically, um, you know, uh, basically preventing the hospital to take care of the
Right.
patients
The
themselves.
patient, the
So
sensible data, especially in the
yeah,
sensible
yeah,
data. Yeah. Hmm.
absolutely. And the point is that an hospital, if they can afford it, they will pay more quickly than another organization because they have to take care of their patients.
Yeah,
So I
yeah, yeah.
think that's mostly the reason why we are hearing about this kind of news so often. But something, it is bad already when a hospital is getting hit, because of course they have many problems, and some patients can have many problems. But if an hospital have to close completely, in the article it said that the I don't know the name of the city, I already forgot it, but the entire city right now, it doesn't have an hospital
An
anymore.
hospital. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So they have to travel to the most
Closer,
close
closest, yeah, closest town for
yeah,
the to find medical prevention. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's
and
totally
and
crazy. Yeah, this
yeah,
is
and
totally
if there's
crazy.
an urgency, it could
Hmm.
be another problem, because maybe there could be some people who I don't like saying something like this, but they could die even before reaching the hospital, or it's just is already too late when they reach the
Hmm.
hospital,
Yeah,
right? So that's the problem, and that's why unfortunately ransomware gangs are also targeting hospitals and similar organizations.
yeah.
But again, my perspective.
I totally understand your perspective. Just I hope in the future, so the government for the or the who manage the
Mm.
funds for the hospital public administration consider the risks for the that all for the hospital for but the all other services, not only also the
Hmm.
municipality, so
Yeah.
we can this can happen on a municipality or other public office, and this is a really not nice for the people living in that community. Yeah, so that.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Mhm.
And and of course this is a never-ending problem, because yeah,
Yeah.
maybe they're starting to rise the investments, and they're starting to work on security, and maybe the overall bar is
Mhm.
is improving, right?
Yeah.
But the point is that, of course, and this is just maybe what I think about it, but of course, no one can be 100% secure. So eventually you can still be hit by a ransomware, but also um, from another kind of attack. And the next step is not only trying to prevent. That's something that of course and everyone should do, but the point is that being able to respond, because again, if you will face an incident at some point, because you cannot guarantee you will not face one. So the point is that there will be more need for more money, for more investment, for more people
Exactly.
skilled in this sector. So it's a never-ending problem for me. But
Yeah.
anyway,
But
moving on.
I think only as we work directly in the cybersecurity, like me and you, have this idea, this perspective about so nobody is 100% secure. So because sometimes so the public administration try to be compliant with legislation, the data privacy, and that's all. Okay, we can do. It's not the same. So there is a difference for the compliancy and the cybersecurity. The compliancy, you try to respect some law, some normative
Hmm.
for that. The
Yeah.
cybersecurity, it's I don't want to. use this word because it's a little bit rude, a raw, but it's like a war. You have
Yeah.
to think to defend yourself and
Yeah,
your
you have to
perimeter.
fight.
You have
Yeah.
to fight. Yeah, yeah.
You know, this is similar to what we were saying like at the very beginning, right? The point is that I agree with you. Like, compliance and security are not the same thing. Like, if you
Yeah.
are compliant, is not equal you are
Hmm.
secure.
Yeah, exactly.
But at the same time, I think that, you know, at least for what I can see, companies are starting to invest in security because of compliance, because of some laws, because of some regulations. So again, there's good and bad about it. I think it is needed,
Hmm.
possibly, of course. You know, a word without compliance at all, I don't think it's a better word, probably. I don't know. That's a difficult topic, but the point is that some company, actually, I will say most of the companies there started to do security because there wasn't like a new regulation, like we have
Yeah,
GDPR in Europe, but any similar thing. Uh, so again, it's about it. It's the companies themselves that need and need to want to be more secure. It's not just about compliance. Compliance is a start, and the requirements for all of those regulations, it's like a bare minimum they
hmm
should do, and that's okay. But you know, it's, you know, the next attack, the next news like this should just, you know, just
yeah,
convince more people and more managers and more, you know, C-level executives to invest a little more. I will not like to need this news, but also this helps,
yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah. Yeah, but I totally agree with you. So the compliance is a good point to start to think the importance of the cybersecurity is a really good
Hmm.
point. Yeah, but it's important to understand also is not the same thing.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's absolutely.
You
So
want to jump another news?
yeah, yeah, I think that's okay. I think we
Okay,
discussed a lot about
a
this,
lot
and
about this. Yeah,
yeah, and it's also a sad topic. You know, it was
yeah, yeah.
interesting, but I had enough for today.
Yeah, yeah, because yeah, it's enough. But so when you talk about the hospital healthcare, not only for the cybersecurity, is easy to jump another topic. It's I
Yeah.
think we was really good to maintain the focus of that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So let's change completely, okay? Because
Okay,
we
okay.
need something else, and
Mhm.
this is actually a little tricky because the article is very long. It's actually
Yeah, yeah,
very
yeah, yeah.
detailed, and it is taken from, for what I understand, it is taken from a white paper from some researchers. But it is really interesting for, again, different reasons, actually. So the point is that what happened? The again, some researchers, I don't remember the company or research institute, but maybe we will find it
Yeah.
later. Basically, find out a new kind of, let's say, attack that can enable, you know, attackers, of course,
Mhm.
to steal some, yeah, cryptographic keys in this case. But I will say anything that would, yeah, let's say, involve power, like power management of the computer, or just um, processing of the CPU, and so on and so forth. So this was not something new. I personally read about something similar in the past, and there's also you know, a list of previous things that we know about in the start, at the start of the article. Actually, I just forgot that I could just copy and paste the link in the chat for everyone, just if anyone
Okay.
wants to read it, because we're not going to read all of it. So you can just retrieve it from the chat and read it yourself when you have time. The point is that apparently, so a video camera or any other, also just a smartphone with their cameras can record the power LED from different devices. So just the the LED that you can see blinking, from different kind of devices. And if that device is trying to, running a cryptographic process, okay, apparently just recording the blinking of the LED could be enough to retrieve the actual cryptographic key that they use for the process. This is very big, okay, because nowadays we are using, basically everywhere in, in the information technology field, different cryptographic algorithms in order to secure data, in order to authenticate, right? Also, keys can be just the way you authenticate to get access to something, okay? And that is so easy. Let's say easy. It's a big statement, but because we will talk about it. But just anyone, filming the LED could potentially retrieve the keys from that. Well, this is a big one, and I don't know what could be the consequence today.
No, it's a little bit
concerning.
Concerning, yeah. Concerning about that because I have never. So I worked in cybersecurity from a long time, but not for the staff, especially is by myself. I don't know is the correct word is like IoT because you can use.
Also, I would say also that.
Yeah, it's like cybersecurity with IoT. You use a LED to understand the algorithm for the cryptography from a camera, but also it's a really cheaper method because everyone can buy a camera and recording the blinking of the LED. So maybe I don't really understand the process.
I think that's
yeah. And also Giorgio, in the article, if you scroll down, there is a clip from YouTube. So maybe
that's true.
Could be interesting to show the.
Yeah, we can try. I'm not sure if the if people are going to hear the audio, but we can try. So let's just mute ourselves for just these 3 minutes, okay?
Yeah. I suppose you can play the video and.
We can talk about.
Yeah.
Like you want to talk in the meanwhile, right?
Yeah. So we can.
That's.
Think it is not important.
Okay, that's nice.
The audio in this clip. Yeah.
So I will just take the chance because to explain this a little bit, better. So the point is that most of the LEDs you see in any kind of devices, they are directly connected to the power source for that device, right? And the point is that there is no nothing that let's say act as a filter between the power source, right, and the LED itself, and that causes the LED to blink because if there's any fluctuancy, I'm not sure how to do to say that in English, but if there's any issue with the power, you can see that the LED is also showing that, or if the device is using a lot of that power, maybe with the CPU, right, to do something like a cryptographic process, like in this case, you can see also that showing something in the LED, something like blinking, change of the color, and apparently from this very tiny and difficult to see changes, because that's difficult to see with the human eye. but it can be analyzed through computing again. Fluctuancies, you can recover apparently some of those cryptographic keys. And one very nice thing that they are showing in the video is that they try to go as far as they can recording the LED with a video camera, and they went as far as, I think, like 62. I think they are in foot because they are in the United States, so it's pretty far from the device. So you don't really need to be really close to the device. It could be anyone or any video camera that is installed pretty far. So again, it's very cheap and much easier compared to the previous similar attacks. Because again, there were similar attacks in the past, but you needed to buy like expensive tools, and you needed like physical access to the device you wanted to compromise, right? In this case, you can do this remotely, potentially. Let's say that there are a lot of IP cameras that are unfortunately available online, and maybe if you can compromise the camera itself and get control of the camera inside the company, then you can potentially record something like this. So it's big.
So, for example, Shondan website, no? Shondan? Yeah. If you buy the premium license, you can accede to IP camera. If you find one IP camera is randomly recording another device with a blinking LED, you can do this without nothing, only to connect to another IP camera, and you can compromise another device without nothing. So this is blow my mind.
Yeah,
because it's totally crazy. You don't need nothing. You can buy a license from Shondan, and Shondan is a website to check the vulnerabilities and the permission on the other web
exposed services or
exposed services. Yeah, exactly.
Anything.
And there is a lot of IP camera, and so it's really simple. If you find one of that randomly recording just another device, so you can compromise that without buy any tools.
Yeah, and again, really cheap, much easier. And I'm thinking that one of the requirements to run this kind of attack is that still you need to record for a certain period of time. Not sure how much, but it's not just few seconds. It's a certain period. But if the camera that is recording is your security camera that you have installed 24/7, like at your office or company or anything, you have all the time you want to record, right? You can record for potentially 24/7, 7 days out of 7, and so on and so forth. So the only problem that I see, because again I'm trying to have different perspectives on this, right? This is definitely much easier to what we've seen in the past, but it's still something that, for me at least, it is for very targeted attack, right? Because it still requires a list of steps, right? Because most of the time you don't need the cryptographic key itself. You need that key in order to access some data that was encrypted, or in order to authenticate to a system that has an authentication layer on top of it. And so you find about the system. It requires authentication. You find how it is, what's the authentication system and what's the encryption algorithm. Then so you decide, so I need to record the LED of this PC, and you need to know where this PC is or where this device is. And then you need to understand, is there any camera that is exactly pointing at that device?
That device,
And
yeah.
then can I compromise the camera so I can record it, and then I can start the attack, because this is just the start of all the the steps required. So easier than before. That's for for sure, but still it's something like for I will say um, how do you say, like state sponsored groups, right? So when you
Okay.
want to
Yeah.
run espionage, basically, right? It's not about it's not about ransomware gangs for sure.
Yeah,
It's not
another.
about the attackers who are not very skilled, or who do not have the time to dedicate to this attack, or they are not really thinking about attacking this company specifically. Okay, because if you are just
Exactly.
attacking anything out there to make some money out of it, you're not going to do all of this process. This is still a little too long, a little too complex, at least for me. But it's definitely a technical, like an interesting technical thing. Right?
Yeah,
We have to be aware of this.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So what I think is, okay, it's more cheaper and more easier than before, but always when you have to use the cryptography is not easier every time, because it's a really tough topic,
Mhm.
and you need a really hard background to do this.
Yeah, you need the skills. You need, again, the
You need
time
the
to dedicate,
skills.
because
Yeah.
it's not something that you
No,
just
it's
want
different
to do
from
it and
I
that's
don't know.
done.
For example, go to the dark web, buy a source of the ransomware, and try to put everywhere. It's totally different.
Yeah,
It's more structured.
yeah, definitely. And I'm wondering, right? This is so is I'm not saying that this is not useful, right?
Yeah.
Knowing about this stuff, it's needed, because of researchers are finding new kind of attacks, new kind of, let's say, vulnerabilities, and for that reason, after that, vendors have to fix that kind of problem, so that they will try to prevent such kind of attacks, right? Because the problem is that if you know a military organization, like in any country, that is dealing with the top secret data, right? And they, in that case, for their threat model, so for their concerns about their security surface, maybe they could be concerned about this, and they could maybe request to the vendors they are buying from, right? I don't know, let's say they are using, like in the video they are showing some card readers,
Hmm.
right,
Yeah.
for encryption keys, and maybe they could request the vendors, oh, there's this problem, so you have to fix the lead thing, right? You have to make the lead not really uh, interacting with the process. You need
With
to
the
find a
process.
way so that the lead is just still, right, and it's not showing anything when there is any process running on the device. Maybe that's I think that's the best thing out of this kind of researches, right? To to push companies to fix this kind
Yeah.
of problems.
It's funny because we can create a simple joke just to resolve this attack, to mitigate this attack. It's you need only to cover the lead.
Yeah, that's true, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's a
it's
joke.
as
Yeah,
simple as that.
it's simple as
Well,
that.
if you are concerned, we could speak about why you should be concerned about this
Yeah,
for hours, but if you are concerned about this,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
the lead is the problem, right? That's
Yeah.
that's the the big
Mhm.
problem here. So technically, you don't need to look at the lead, if not for just knowing that the device is powered on. But
Maybe
you know,
maybe for us we work in the cybersecurity. No, maybe for the another person have another job for the I don't know, another technician, is really important. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, it could be, but you can, if you are putting something to cover the lead, right? You can still remove it when you need it, do your
Yeah.
stuff, and when you don't need it anymore, just cover it again. Because apparently it's a problem. You didn't know about this, but now having the lead just blinking, it's a problem. And the other thing that I was thinking while reading through the article is that like in the video before, you could see that they put like the card reader like this, so that anyone could directly see it, and the iPhone, I think it was an iPhone, but the smartphone
Yeah.
recording it was specifically pointing at it. Now, of course, if you're the attacker, you are physically in the office, you could just be there with your smartphone and record it. But if you have a video camera that is on the how would you say it? The
on top, maybe on top.
yeah, it's not like placed in front of a
No, yeah,
computer
in
most of the
front
time,
of
right?
the computer, yeah. Like the
So I'm
security
wondering,
camera, no, is
yeah,
sometimes you put the security camera on top of your office or so
yeah, exactly.
the environment.
So
Yeah.
and most of the time, I don't know, at least we in Italy, we have some regulations where you cannot point directly a security camera on an employee, so on the computer that the employee is using, right? So I still think that this is tough to replicate in the real world, right? But again, if this can push the vendors to update and to fix this kind of issue, at least we don't have to concern about this anymore, like in the future, right? So
Yeah.
that's the only thing I can see.
Yes.
And
Yeah, I think it's a little bit complicated to do this kind of attack in the real world. Yeah, because also if you find I don't know, imagine to enter inside a room and you find a smartphone or a camera in front of the or laptop or other technologies device. So what is that? So that I think the first impression now.
yeah, that should put an alert.
Yeah,
Why that thing is that, why this is looking at
it
my
is not
device.
an attack with a low profile. Yeah.
Yeah. That's true. Well, again, it's a very interesting technical thing. It's at least for me, knowing that something so unimportant as a lead could actually be exploited and expose your credentials or encryption keys. This is really huge on a technical perspective, but at the same time, depending on if you are in the security field, of course, depending on your role, this is interesting on different kind of levels. So this is more for of course, techie people that are very interested in this. It's good to have a read about anything, I will say, because having the like I think that vertical you are in a specific skill, the better it is. That's my really personal thoughts. But at the same time, trying to know a little bit of anything is still very important, because you never know when something like this, like some knowledge related to something like this, can be helpful for you, work related or maybe also outside of it. Just a little reasoning from me. Sorry to bother everyone.
Don't worry. Okay, so we want to jump.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much all about this. So I think we could jump to the next one.
Yeah.
And the next one
is
yeah. So I like to
talk
about this stuff. Yeah, no. Well, of course, I don't have anything against the police, right? But the point is that I really like to talk about this kind of news.
Yeah.
And there's one very big reason behind it. So we very often hear that, you know, if you are a cyber criminal or if you are like an attacker of some kind, most of the time they never catch you. You can do whatever you want. Security people are not really trying to catch the bad guy. They're just trying to defend from their attacks. But you know that the attacker is still there, and tomorrow he will try again to compromise your network or do some bad things. But in the consequence of that, I think, is that some people could still think that maybe it's better to be a cyber criminal than try to enter the security field and try to be in the um, in the good part of the field, because you can make possibly a
This
lot of
is my
money and
job every morning.
yeah.
This is my job every morning.
I need some money. Maybe I should,
Yeah,
but no, I think it is important still to read and see that, sometime they catch him. They catch them, right? This is not the first time we hear at least I read about something similar multiple times before. But I think I will take every time I see a news like this, and I will take this to the podcast, because I think this is very important, at least to, do some awareness, let's say, so that people that are not already in the field and maybe they're thinking about it, okay, they know that, this is that, the bad thing is still a bad thing, an illegal thing, and still you have a huge risk, right? Maybe you don't have any ethic, maybe you don't care about legal stuff, but still, if you want to do that, you know that someone is looking for you, right? And someone
exactly.
will eventually catch you. So up to you to decide, but I think it's still better to be on the bright side of the of the force.
Of the force, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So no,
Better
the
to be
only
a Jedi, right?
yeah, every time a Jedi. So I always a Jedi. So may the force be with you. So
Cool.
yeah, the
Um,
only thing I was concerned about this news.
mhm,
It's so if you see in the title, so
mhm.
the police investigate since 2013.
Yeah.
So I, now I don't want to say the police is too slow to catch them that because you know when you start the investigation you have to be sure so the that gang or cybercrime gang or crew could be guilty in that
Yeah.
case. You need time also. Sometimes the law is not ready for that kind of the these are and I don't have the word to say in this kind of the process. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
In this kind
it's
of
challenging.
process, it's a challenging. Yeah, because I talked with my friend. She are a
Hmm.
lawyer, and
Yep.
we talked about this because she hates us. She hates us because every time we changed everything, so to we try to create a new case for the first time, and then they have to modify all the law for that. So LA
Mm.
and she totally hates the IT environment, so software developers, cybersecurity
All the industry.
consult, all the industry, because every time we impact negative in their their work.
Yeah, no, that's
I know
yeah.
it's
Let's say,
challenging.
yeah. And I think it's even more challenging for law enforcement, right?
Yeah, for the
Because they
lowers.
are somewhere in the middle because they have to um, definitely be compliant. That like they cannot do anything they want,
Mhm.
right? If they have, they cannot just, if they have a suspect, go and open the door for that person that they are suspecting about. They, as you said, need to run a very careful investigation. They have to collect clues about what's going on. And the fact I know, so I think we didn't even mention, but the point is that the point about the news is that we are talking about the Polish police, right? And these, they catch two specific people that were involved in this DDoS-for-hire service. This is an interesting word. Maybe we will talk about this a little more later. But the point is that this was an operation, and I'm gonna read here in the article, that was conducted in coordination with the Europol, the FBI, law enforcement from Netherlands, Germany, Belgium. So this is a very complicated, complex thing that involved multiple organizations around the world.
Yeah,
Because what's the problem with the cybercrime in general? The point is that they are maybe targeting you or your company, but they are actually placed on a country like on the other part of the world, and maybe that country is actually let's say not really I can say this uh, like concerned about
yeah,
you
no, but
doing some stuff, so they are not really on you about that.
mhm.
And they also put some technology things in order to make it difficult to find out who is behind the attack. We can talk about this for months. I believe you can use just VPNs, you can use the Tor network, you can use a lot of methods and techniques and technologies in order to make the actual connection look like someone else is doing this. So the police cannot just take the first clue or the first information they got. Maybe they find about an IP address, and if they found a person behind this IP address, that's exactly the bad guy.
Yeah,
Actually,
no,
most of the time, it's not gonna be
the,
him.
the cybercrime gang. Also, I'm wondering. So if you see, we have a lot of actor here. So the
Mm-hmm.
Europol, FBI, different countries. Maybe it's challenging to because not only of that countries have the same regulation or law about that. Maybe they do. For example, they did attacks in our country and have another severity like another one in each one. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
is that case is challenging for the lawyer because they have to write of new the
Hmm.
old regulation, not only to be compliance. What's
Yeah.
about? I want to understand because I read the news, but I didn't understand. So where were based the cyber gang, the
Huh.
criminal?
So I can see here that some of their
Hmm.
infrastructure was
The
located in Switzerland.
infrastructure. Okay.
But I don't think it's specified where
No, this is
they.
not specified. This is not
Mhm.
specified. Maybe the
Yeah,
name.
yeah, I think that's on purpose, right? They don't want to say it. They never say the names most of the time. They don't say where they find them. But we can do the same thing as before. There's a nice video. Well, they're not really showing much, but there's
Mhm.
a nice video from the Polish police that I can just play in the background, where they
Yeah.
they actually make you see while they are running the operation, while they are going to catch the two persons here. and it's actually very interesting because you will see in there, while they collect all the different technologies, devices, and stuff they find in the place right there. And of course, I don't want to speak about this, but there's an anonymous mask in there. Come on, please.
Yeah.
That's the cliche of the cybercrime. Well, anyway, um, but
It's
it's
like a
cool.
movie that try to take the elements to be more catchy.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they placed like the police or who
Mhm.
is making the
The video,
like
maybe
the video, right?
not the
Is placing
police,
that
but
thing here.
who making the video. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I don't know. I'm not sure. It's not because there's no audio. It's just the video with some music, so you just see some images and nothing else. But it's cool to see how they are really collecting all the individual hard drives they find, and they are taking notes about all of them individually, because that's part of the um, chain of custody. Basically, whenever you are starting an investigation and you want to analyze the data inside a device or just a disk, you need to be sure that who is the person taking the device, what device is that, what's the serial number on it, and who to who you're giving this device. Because the person taking the device is not the same person that is going to make the analysis.
Hmm.
And also after that, the person making the analysis is not maybe the same person um, giving this to the tribunal or something. So there's a very strict process called chain of custody, where you have to you know um, track all of the movements of the device, all of the individual action that were taken, to be sure that the results of the investigation can be confirmed, right? Are not compromised for some reason. So this is nice to be seen in so detail. It's cool. So what else is in there?
Yeah. And what we learn about this from this video. So everyone have a anonymous mask is could be
So
a crime.
yeah, it's a bad guy.
Is a bad guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have one, by the way. I
Yeah.
just trashed my
Yeah. I have
mine
one
yesterday.
mask,
So
but it's from Lucha Libre, like Rey Mysterio.
okay, I
You
don't
know?
think that's I
No,
don't
it's
think that's
not. It's from. Maybe I'm bad guy for other
except
things,
for other reasons.
for
Okay.
other reasons. Yeah.
um. So there's another thing about this news that I want to
Mhm.
talk a little bit about,
Yeah.
and it's the fact that, so why did they catch these people specifically, right? What was the reason why they were looking for them? And they, as specified in the title, were involved in DDoS-for-hire. So what are we talking about? So DDoS, first of all, it's just a kind of attack. It's called distributed denial of service, and it's basically an attack where you involve multiple devices to contact and to send connections to a single target, in order to make it like shut down, because it cannot handle all of these high number of connections, right? And it's something that basically you want to do whenever you want to disrupt the business of another company, or you want to um, prevent a service to be running and to be erogated. So it's a big deal. And what they mean with the DDoS-for-hire is basically the fact that they just say publicly, if you want to attack someone, just pay us, and we will run the attack for you. Okay, so they have this. It's not specified in the news, but it's usually like this. Um, so these actors compromise around the world, and they create what is called a botnet, right? So they have, I don't know, potentially of devices out there, and all of this to send those connections to the target. So that's how it works. And again, is as simple as I want to crash, to make a service crash. I just pay someone, and maybe not really a high amount of money, depending on maybe how long we want the attack to be running, or how hard they have to hit the target. And they just hired itself to do this. So that was the thing that they were doing, like the legal thing they were doing. And it's a big thing, right? It's similar to, I would say, the ransomware as a service thing, because again, you don't need any skills, you don't need to do anything on yourself. You just pay someone to do everything, and anyone can be let's say an attacker in that way.
Yeah. So Giorgio, I worked a lot of time in a security operations center on my client, and so every day we we had a DDoS attack there.
Yeah.
So it's nice to say, for example, if you try to do a DDoS from important website like Google or Facebook, they have some automation try to block immediately the IP addresses. So if you try to do not a distributed but a DOS from your laptop, is immediately blocked. So they have a really good automation, but so we talk about Google is just one of first player in the world.
Yeah.
And but about that is one of the most important and frequent attack you can see in this kind of in our environment in our. So.
And it's also one of the oldest ones, right? It's something that is happening from the very beginning, together with maybe phishing, right? And it's interesting what you said. The fact that like the most popular defense from a normal DOS, just with a single D, is that if you block the single source of the connection, you are not receiving the attack anymore, right? And that's exactly the reason why they switched to DDoS, so the distributed denial service. Because if you have plenty of IP addresses, most of which can be also legitimate ones, if they have compromised any legitimate source to run those attacks, you cannot just block the entire internet, right? You cannot just block thousands of IPs because you are receiving an attack. So that's even more difficult. And I'm not an expert in this, but I think what DDoS prevention vendors are doing today is that they redirect the traffic. They try to detect that your company is facing a DDoS attack, and then they take the traffic, those connections, and redirect to something else. So that the company is not really receiving all of those connections at once anymore. So it's even more complex. It's even more difficult because you need a very big infrastructure. So depending on how big is the attack, so how many addresses are there, how many connections per minute, the bigger has to be the infrastructure to defend from this. So it's about who have more money. It's about who have more computers. So it's definitely difficult.
Yeah, it's difficult. Also, always I worked in a security operations center, and specifically for the SOAR, for the orchestration automation tools. So we developed a playbook just to block the traffic from DDoS attack. But sometimes it's a risk because you can block part of your business, because you block, I don't know, one region, the attack from one region, and maybe you have I don't know, I create an example. So you have to protect e-commerce website.
Mm-hmm.
uh, Most of part of the this DDoS attack come from, I don't know, Asian region. You have to block
Mm-hmm.
that region, and but you lost a lot of money because a lot of your customer from that region can't log in from your website.
Yeah.
So it's sometimes complicated create a procedure to block the DDoS, because you can automate, but you have a lot of collateral effect.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's a very difficult topic, and again, I don't think I ever really I was ever involved in such kind of attack, because it's difficult just to take the decision. So what we should
Yeah,
do? Should we block all of the traffic? Like for how long should we block the traffic? Like forever? But there
yeah,
are some problems, like you said
yeah,
before,
yeah, but your
or
business, yeah,
yeah, it's an hour enough, or it's a day enough, it's a week enough. So and who take that decision? Is it like I'm thinking maybe it's not the analyst, maybe it's the CISO, but is the CISO, does he have enough responsibilities to decide something like this, to block the business in an entire country or
exactly.
region?
Hmm.
So it's really big, and I don't envy people who have to face this maybe on a daily um, uh, on a daily basis, because these are going on very often. It's not something that happens just once per year or something. It's always there. So yeah, it's definitely difficult to handle it, especially when there are some of these people just taking some money to run those attacks. So really really good to see less of those
Yeah.
bad guys providing these services. So I don't know what you say, but I think this was everything we could talk about this news as well. And I will move to the next and last one
This is
for
the last
today.
one. Yeah, for today.
Yep,
Okay.
yep. So yeah, I know. Talking with me, it's like the time flies, right? So maybe you didn't,
Yeah, but
you
but
know.
it's true. It's true. It's now. It's just more than 1 hour we're recording. No.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
And again, what I love about this, the reason why I want to do this is because basically we are having a chat.
Yeah.
We could be at
Exactly.
a bar, maybe with a
Mhm.
beer. It could be a little better than this stuff I'm drinking right now.
Absolutely.
Uh,
I totally
but
agree.
this is enjoyable. I'm
Yeah.
meeting some friends. I'm having a chat about stuff that I'm interested in, right? And I hope you are as well.
No, no. I can
um,
confirm. I can confirm.
Great, thank you very much.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's just about it, right? We are having a chat. We are reading about something new that maybe we didn't know about it just before, and maybe who is watching us, or who will watch the YouTube video that will be re-uploaded, or will listen to the podcast on Spotify or any other platform. They will also be part of the discussion. That's what I like about this. So yeah, again, thanks for being with me, but let's go having a chat about also this last news, um, which I want to just remember. This is what gave the name of the episode. So every time I'm putting a name on the episode that is taken from the last and most interesting news, this time was who defend the defenders, right? Uh, and the reason behind this name is that so an attack that was designed specifically to target security professionals, right? Security researchers in this case, or at least that's what is mentioned in the article. But I will say, the industry in general. So we as an industry are trying to prevent attacks, respond to attacks, or defend organization in general. But what happens when we are actually the target of those attacks, right? There's no one like caring of us. So I found this very interesting for this reason. So the news talks about a fake GitHub repository, or actually the GitHub repository was actually there. So there's this page where usually developers and researchers are uploading their software, their code, so anyone can read about it, can modify it, can download it and run it if they want. And attackers did something like that. They created a GitHub page and uploaded what they named like I would say like a POC, so a proof of concept for an exploit, for a new big vulnerability. Okay, so I think it was specifically 0-day exploit for Signal. So again, just to make it clear, Signal is a secure chat application. Okay, like an end-to-end encrypted app that is very famous and very common between people who have something to really defend and be concerned about most of the time. And an exploit for such application is something that many people would want to use for multiple reasons, right? It's something that should be so much secure, and maybe you find on GitHub something that you can just double click on and exploit that kind of application, right? This is something very big, and for that reason, many people will be wanting to download and run the code. The problem is that the code was actually doing something completely different. Okay, was actually I don't remember if it's specified exactly. I will just try to find it out right now. Okay, so the code was a Python software that, if run, would download a specific binary, right? So something needed for the operating system. It of course was malicious and carried some other malicious features for the attacker. So the point is that I want to make people interested in exploits. So people interested in exploits could be or other attackers or actually security researchers. So I'm thinking about penetration testers. So basically people who are paid to simulate attacks for organizations, or just researchers that are trying to find the new vulnerabilities, like the one we mentioned before with the lead thing. And whenever they just install the thing without really reading what it is doing, they can compromise their own device. Okay, so this was a really targeted thing on it. I will say it a category in general, because it's not clear if there was a specific person or specific organization behind it. The other interesting thing is that to make it even more, let's say, true looking, like if it was really true, they created a fake company, like a fake security company who found out about the vulnerability and published this vulnerability. There was a company called High Sierra, and apparently also a list of individual profiles of security researchers to make it even more true looking. So yeah, very big efforts behind this, and it's rare to see a targeted thing like this.
So I'm wondering about this news. Also, this is my preferred. I don't want to create a ranking of the news of today's, but this one it's really interesting. So I'm wondering about that. So is social. How many percentage of social engineering there will be present in this kind of attack?
Yeah, a lot.
A lot.
I would say a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah, yeah. Mhm.
Look, I'm thinking, right? They created multiple profiles, okay,
Multiple.
multiple
Yeah.
fake people, right? And
They create
someone could,
a company, an
yeah,
entire company.
an entire company, and you
Yeah,
could technically, you could technically reach out to those people, and if they want to make it, make it very difficult to detect, they had to impersonate those people, reply, and using multiple profiles at the same time.
exactly.
And a big vulnerability like the one they mentioned, like how many people could reach out to those profiles,
Mhm.
right? So it's a really big effort. You don't do this just to let's say um, again make just some money. It's because you want to reach a very high profile target, a very high profile goal, right? You are preparing a very big attack so that you know that your target could fall for it, and eventually you will reach your goal. So again, for me, it's another very I don't know if state sponsored, but definitely highly targeted, um, and they just didn't think about all of the other people that will fall for the same thing. I just want to reach out to this. All of the others, yeah, maybe that's good. Maybe I want to compromise multiple security researchers so I can use them as a botnet. I don't know. There's a lot. There's really a lot about this news right here.
Yes. So, mm, so I totally forgot what I want to say about that. So now about that. So it's amazing. The trust they received like a company. So and when you created all that is you can create a multiple kind of attacks. So I can imagine you can put on your website or your GitHub sandbox, a really dangerous sandbox. And when you
Mm-hmm.
try to open it, it totally explode.
Yeah, you can do basically whatever you want. Depend on what you want to place on the actual
Mhm.
GitHub page.
Yeah,
You can really do whatever you want. The I think it's specified somewhere in the article. The point is that, okay, if you are a developer or if you are a security researcher, you should probably read, and understand
yeah,
what you are
exactly.
downloading before using it, right? And if you are, a real developer or a
That
security
depends
researcher, you
about
should have
your
the skills.
experience
Yeah,
because
yeah, that's true. That's true.
I think I don't know a guy start a new job is really a junior profile.
Yeah.
Sometimes take the code, run the code without reading because he don't have the experience. But it's not him fault. It's just he don't
No,
have
no, that's true.
experience. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't want to give, let's say,
responsibility.
responsibilities, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, thanks. But the point is that, again, not every open source thing out there, it's a it's something to be trusted.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's true.
especially if you talk about exploits, proofs of concepts, anything security related. You know, uh, so you should double check. Okay, if you cannot do that, and that's, I will say, okay, right? Ask to someone else to do this. If you really need that piece of code, ask to your senior colleague, or ask to your friend who is more skilled than you. Just do not just download code and software and run as nothing bad can happen, because something bad can happen, right? We have the clue here.
It's just a suggestion.
but the point is that some of the checks you can do to see if that piece of code is can be trusted or not is exactly see if there's any known security researcher behind it, if there's a known user, if there's a known company, right? And that's exactly the reason why attackers did this. If I create even a company behind this GitHub page, this could be even more, credible. I don't know if that's a word in English, but I hope that's understandable.
Trusted,
yeah,
maybe.
Trusted.
Yeah.
So that is the reason why it is big, because it's there are a lot of fake or bad GitHub pages with the bad code, right? But the point is that this looked really good because of a company, because of profiles of security researchers behind it. And another point that I'm actually reading right now is that a specific company found out about this. Okay, I think this Check company right here, and they contacted GitHub to make the page to be removed. Okay, they did it, so GitHub removed the page, but just a few times later, they created just another page and another page after that, and again another one with another exploit or phantomatic exploit about another well-known company. So you can see the efforts behind it. You can see that was not something like an attempt to do something. They really wanted to reach their goals, and they really put some efforts behind it. Maybe they're maybe still out there with another GitHub page and we don't know about it, right? So you can see how much they cared about doing this and possibly reaching their real targets. I'm still thinking that this is really highly targeted, and they want to put the GitHub page in there until they reach their real target. But it could be just a number thing, and they want to compromise as many devices as possible. That could also be true. Probably we will never know what was the real reason behind it, unfortunately.
So, but if I remember well, was created in 2021, no? Or is
not sure. Let me check.
Long history.
Nope. Yeah. So oh no. So this is the part of the article where they are mentioning previous similar things that happened in the past.
In 2021. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and they mentioned that in 2021 something similar happened, and was found out by the
Google.
tag group from Google.
Tag group from Google. Yeah.
Yeah, and basically they were creating fake Twitter profiles in order to again target some security researchers.
Yeah, to trust the fake company in that case. Yeah. It's really smart to call a company a Google threat analysis group.
So no, threat analysis group is the real group from Google. They found out about the attack, right? They published the attack. The attack in this case was that these fake Twitter profiles, were used to reach out to some security researchers, and they said something like, we are doing very nice research about this new vulnerability. Do you want to jump in the research with us?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And if you create again a trusted profile that looks like a very big and important researchers in the industry, you definitely want to work with them, right? Because it's for your ego, it's for what you can put in the
for your career also.
Yeah. And they then, if you agree with that, they then sent you something to start the researches, and apparently they actually sent a Visual Studio project file that was actually a malware. And again, if you're not double checking it, if you're just trusting blindly what someone on the internet is sending you just because it's they have the security researcher like tag,
Tag, yeah.
that's something that could definitely happen, right? And it was there for 3 months until the CISA, so the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, put an alert about it. So it's a very long period of time. Again, how many people actually fall for that? Again, anyone can fall for it. I am not saying that it's their fault again, but when an attack is so targeted, there's a very prepared social engineering campaign like this. It's difficult to not fall for it. I will say, because I'm not saying I'm because I'm in the security field, I cannot be hit or attacked. I'm human, and social engineering is actually, I will say, the art of exploiting human vulnerabilities. And we are all humans.
Exactly.
Even if you are skilled, even if you are experienced, there's always time that you are tired, that we are not really carefully reading everything, and anyone can fall for it. So again, another challenge, another difficult thing to do. And I would say that just knowing that something like this can happen, it's already an help, because you knew that, okay, previously some attackers did something like this. So maybe the next time that will happen to you, maybe something in your mind will trigger, right? Oh, I read about this, right? Or I heard in the Security Bread podcast about this, and maybe I hope that will help someone else in the future, or at least, let's hope so.
Yeah, yeah. You can create a lot of dubs of other people. Maybe the people try to listening, think, okay, this two guy can create a fake company, a fake podcast to convince us they
Yeah,
are
that
a security expert.
but you should not do that. Like, you should not say that. That was something that we should say just after we
Yeah,
close the
no,
we
no.
close the live.
You can trust
No.
me on LinkedIn, so it's all true about me, and I can to confirm all the skills and capabilities of the Giorgio, because
Okay,
we
I,
was
I
the
I was.
colleagues. Yeah,
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 that's true, because I was liking the fact that you were guaranteeing for yourself
yeah,
alone, but eventually you said something about me as well. Thank you very much.
yeah.
Okay, you know what? It's been like an hour and a half, and we get rid of all the news,
Yeah.
so we don't have anything else, and I'm so tired that I really just want to go to sleep. So I think that's a wrap for today. What you think?
Yeah, I think that's all. We read some interesting news. So and
Hmm.
but the important thing I'm enjoying this time. I hope you
Yeah,
too.
yeah, absolutely,
And
absolutely.
thanks for the opportunity.
No problem at all. It's an opportunity for
Yeah,
me, in my perspective, and this is not, of course, the last time. I hope that
yeah.
anyone that joins these episodes can actually return. Depends on the availabilities, but I will try to get on some, as more people as possible, and also to make them return as often as possible.
Mhm.
So for the last time, thank you very much, Alessandro. See you next time,
Thank you too.
and just bye to everyone who has
Yeah,
watched this live. And again, for the very last time, this live will be re-uploaded on YouTube later, and also on Spotify and other podcast platforms. So if you didn't have time to watch this, feel free to follow us in the other platforms.
yeah.
So bye everyone, and thanks again.
Bye
Have a good
and
night.
enjoy your weekend. Bye bye.
Yeah, absolutely. Bye.
Bye bye.